Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are reviewing this biological macromolecules chart. It's kind of like handwritten notes, and I'm going to take the time and kind of go over everything. So here we go. In terms of biological macromolecules, we have carbohydrates, lipids, proteins, and nucleic acids. I'm just going to zoom in here on the carbohydrates. So the way I have this little chart divided up, it's kind of summarizing our notes that we went over and putting everything organized in one place. In terms of polymers, we have, for carbohydrates, we have starch, cellulose, and glycogen. And generally speaking, we have these ring-shaped structures representing the individual pieces or the monomers that make up the polymers, starch, cellulose, and glycogen. And those monomers for carbohydrates are monosaccharides, glucose, or fructose. And carbohydrates are primarily made of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. That is what the C, H, and O stands for. Moving along, we have lipids. The polymer of a lipid would be like an oil, fat, wax, or cholesterol. Some examples are triglycerides or phospholipids. They're characterized by these fatty acid chains or formed by hydrogen and carbon. And lipids are also made of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, but structurally they look different. When we draw a lipid, you will always kind of see these little zigzaggy carbon-hydrogen tails. Same thing in our phospholipid over here. And again, those are fatty acids. So we consider a fatty acid to be the monomer, even though that's not like exactly the monomer because there's other stuff. In lipids, we're going to just go with it. And again, at each of kind of the points in our fatty acid is the carbon, and then the hydrogens are coming off. Moving along, let's look at proteins. Proteins are also known as polypeptides, and they are made of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen. We simplify the individual parts of the polypeptide as circles, and the circles stand for little amino acids. If we zoom in on the circles, we get the chemical structure of an amino acid. We have nitrogen here with hydrogens coming off of it, carbon, carbon, oxygen, oxygen, and hydrogen, and then we have this R side chain. The R side chain differs depending on the type of amino acid. Lastly, nucleic acids are DNA and RNA. They are comprised of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and phosphorus. The monomer that makes up a nucleic acid is called a nucleotide. And nucleotides are made of phosphorus, a 5-carbon sugar, and then a nitrogenous base. Feel free to add this chart to your notes or use it as a resource as you see fit. Thanks again.